All right, here we go. Episode 77, brand new. G's podcast brought to you by the Fudge Kitchen with Harry Mays, Jason Martinez. It is crazy sports time in Philadelphia. And we're going to talk about that and much more. You too, Tony Bruno, tons. What's going on?
Why are you in hushed tones? It's almost like you're calling a golf tournament.
Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah. I need a little bit more pop out of you.
Okay.
I mean, we got a game 7 tonight. I don't know when this fucking thing will come out. Maybe by the time they're in game 3 of the World Series, this episode will actually download. I'm getting a lot of complaints.
Spring training, Harry, comes out.
Right. By people not being able to get this stuff in time. I don't understand what really goes on, but you can watch it live and anytime on our Twitter feeds. That's the thing that people need to understand, right?
That's Harry. That's exactly right.
Right. I mean, don't wait for this stuff to drop on these, these app things. Because a lot of times, you get this stuff sort of thrown out by copyright stuff, right?
Very often.
I mean,
we tend to violate the law.
Right. For example, what was the last issue? That the thing didn't drop for like a week, and you said it was a copy. What did we do wrong?
Skinnered.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes.
So we can't even talk. Oh, did we play a song?
I tend to put music at the beginning and the end when I produce the audio version.
Right.
Usually of a band that we've referenced or talked about on the show. Like when we talk about Led Zeppelin, you get Led Zeppelin.
Right. Like the Wonton song we did a couple weeks ago, right?
But I did not receive a copyright violation for Led Zeppelin.
Interesting.
Yep. Some bands you do, some you don't.
Now that's
Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Our video, they may come to our house, Harry, and beat us up and then take the video or audio down. Yes.
And then Joe Biden's IRS people will come in, and you're totally screwed.
Yep. Full cavity check, Harry. After that.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little U2 today, so I wonder if they'll come after us for that.
I don't think U2 is one of the litigious bands.
Okay.
That freaks out every time. So, I get these notifications on Facebook in nonstop too, because they got to be compliant and ASCAP and BMI and all this stuff and copyright fees. So I'm always fighting the law, Harry.
So
I fought the law, but the law won.
And the law won, exactly right. And so, in other words, Ronnie Van Zant posthumously comes after us because we had played one of their songs.
Yeah, so there's some bands that you just can't play. Rick Beato actually talks about it on his YouTube page quite a bit. He'll do like a top 10 list, and he'll go, "Yeah, I can't play this song for you because if I do, they'll take my video down."
Okay, so he already knows ahead of time the
some of the bands. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that would be worth knowing, I guess.
But like he's doing a top 10, opening riffs to rock songs.
Yeah.
But he can't play the Beatles.
I love that
birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
The Beatles are one of the bands.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, that sucks. It's like, come on. Can we get over this thing? Like, we're all sharing and listening to music and stuff.
Right.
Do we really have to? Like, I can't use it as an intro or an outro on the G's podcast.
Ronnie Van Zant would have kicked our ass, too.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. He'd be up there. Remember how he'd be on the stage barefoot? He went everywhere barefoot.
Yep.
With those jeans, those bell-bottom jeans, right?
Yep.
And then he'd have a little bit of his gut sticking out because he was a little fat.
He was portly, Harry.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and he'd always almost wear like those like T-shirts that were almost like midriffs on him. And then he had the hat on. And the Give Me 3 Steps song, is that an actual thing that actually happened to him?
Yeah. I love that band.
And so do I.
You're right. He would show about 3/4 of an inch of belly.
Yeah.
He wasn't like Shakira, Harry,
No.
exposing the entirety of of the midriff.
No.
And it was just because he had the barrel at the top of the belly, which pulled the T-shirt slightly up.
Right. He didn't have a 6-pack.
No, he had a 12-pack, Harry.
Right.
Maybe a 30-pack.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't have 30-packs back then. Remember they came out with the 30-pack?
Yeah, they did. I used to get those. That was an extra value. You'd get 6 extra beers in there, man.
An extra sixer, as they say in beer parlance.
Exactly. But it was like, hey, fat fella with the hair colored yellow, what you trying to prove? That's the guy talking to him.
Yeah.
How great was that lyric?
Well, you got the Neil Young lyric too.
Well, that was
Other man don't need you around anymore. Yeah. They were such a good band. And cut short.
That was Sweet Home Alabama. That song.
Yeah, with Neil Young.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
great stuff.
We got a lot of sports to talk about today.
Yeah, real quick on music though.
Yeah.
Leonard Skinner, There's a couple of bands, and Leonard Skinner's in the category. Even though they had such a signature sound, and there's a lot of that Southern beer drinking type rock music, nobody ever sounded like Leonard Skinner. There's a few bands in that category. Let me give you a couple. So Leonard Skinner's in there. Steely Dan. Nobody could ever duplicate it.
No. In fact, they had a tough time duplicating it live. That's why they hardly ever toured. They were a studio band, like the Beatles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have a band like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Nobody's ever tried to do anything like it. Nothing.
Well, they might have tried, but they're not successful. They didn't make it.
Yeah, like Pearl Jam came out and everybody tried to emulate it and did, whether it was Creed or whatever the fuck, right? But like Red Hot, those bands, you couldn't touch it, and you couldn't try and do it because it would have sounded so phony.
Right.
It's a weird phenomena.
It is.
But yeah, Steely Dan's in that category. Chili Peppers, there's a bunch of bands in that category. But on to sports, Harry.
Yeah. We'll get back to music a little later because I made you do a little homework. I was a little annoyed that you hadn't done it last time.
Yeah, handed the assignment late, Harry.
You didn't even know it was in existence. That's how far into a hockey bag you've been that you weren't even aware that this place exists in Las Vegas, and that's the Sphere. We'll get back to that.
Well, the boys are in Vegas tonight, Harry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Flyers are there tonight for late night hockey.
Okay, well, I guarantee. So you'll be doing watch the Phillies game, and then you'll go right into the Flyers.
Yeah, the puck doesn't drop in Vegas tonight until 11:07 Eastern.
Is that right?
A total outrage, Harry.
Oh, wow.
An East Coast team should never have to drop the puck on their own time at past 11 p.m.
Well, screw the team. It's about the fans. The fans shouldn't have to stay up until 11:08
on a Tuesday.
Puck drop, right?
Yeah, if you're going to do it on a Friday or Saturday, I can get by. I can. You can make the case.
Yeah.
Right. But on a Tuesday night, I don't think so.
No, I agree with you. That's ridiculous.
I'm going to be up till 4:30 in the morning tonight.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm going to get done the post game show leading into the John Kincaid show, probably.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I got to do the podcast. We're doing video of the podcast, so that's an added. Takes me time to process and edit video and then upload and all that fun stuff. So yeah, 4:30 minimum tonight, Harry.
Jeez. Well, you're going to be shot tomorrow.
I'm shot now.
Well,
it's true tomorrow.
I'm glad you said it instead of me. But you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, they're in Vegas.
Yeah,
but
maybe you are shot from watching that Phillies game last night. Boy, and I was really excited the way Nola came out. His pitches were moving, late movement on all those fastballs. I'm thinking, man, this is going to be a good night. And then the second inning came around, and you get the back-to-back jacks. And then they got the third run on Longoria. I think Longoria hit a double and scored another run. And next thing you know, you're down 3-0. You're like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, you just got hit over the head with a 2x4. You're ready to explode and celebrate a trip to the World Series, and then boom, it's not your night. And now you lean on Ranger Suarez.
Yeah, and they couldn't hit last night. I mean, their brand is bashing the baseball. I mean, I thought Nola pitched well enough to win if they do what they normally do at the plate, and they didn't do it. That guy shut him down, to his credit. A lot of awful at-bats last night. Man, Trey Turner's first at-bat, it was like an instructional video on what not to do. It was so bad. And Bohm has been invisible. Castellanos had some of the worst looks, too. It almost looks like he just goes up there to take 3 pitches and strike out so he can go back and sit the fuck down.
Yeah, and hang out with the boys.
Yeah.
Boys, I'll be right back.
Right. Yeah. Keep my seat warm.
Don't worry. I'm not going to circle the bases. I won't waste a lot of your time.
Yeah. Hold my beer. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Keep that on ice.
Jesus. Seriously, though.
Like Paulie said, keep this warm with the plate of food.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, Harry, which leads me to this question I have to ask you, because you know much more about baseball than I do. Let me ask you this. With the bats and the at-bats being as bad as they were last night, is that something you can turn in a day, or is that something that tends to linger beyond a day, or is this just it's a trip to the World Series, throw out all the conventional wisdom about the way baseball works, ebbs and flows?
I think it's just an approach thing, really, and I think that can change. I mean, we've seen plenty of good at bats from this team getting to this point. I mean, I think it was a night where they kind of thought, hey, we're back home. We just won game 5. and we're going to just roll the balls out, and the crowd's going to, lift us through this in the first couple of innings. Nola's looking good. It's just going to happen. And it doesn't work that way.
No,
I mean, you got to give credit to the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, they came up off the mat in a very difficult environment and got a great outing out of their starting pitcher, but they gave him a boost by getting some early runs and sort of taking the crowd out of it. And then every inning goes by, you're like, holy shit, we're still down 3-1 here. Like, what's going on? Yeah. And then they tack on an extra run and it's 4-1. And you're like, man, where's our big inning? We need our big inning. Come on. This always happens. And it never fucking happened last night. So, yeah, I think they can turn that around tonight. It's a different pitch. Momentum in baseball is the next day's starting pitcher. And there's never been a truer statement in the sport, because that's an absolute fact. So you brought up Ranger Suarez. I think Ranger Suarez is a competitor, man. I love when this guy pitches. The manager seems to get a little jerky with him because he can't wait to take him out. He can't wait to go to the bullpen. And tonight, all hands on deck. And it's that way for both teams. I think these managers he might get a little jumpier. If Ranger puts a guy on base in the third inning, he's going to start warming up a guy.
Can we warm him up 7 behind a curtain, though, Harry, so the pitcher doesn't have to see it?
I know.
That fucks with him.
I know, man. You turn around, you get to grab the rosin bag, and you're like, oh, shit, he's got him up?
Why is he up?
Jesus.
I walked one guy, and you got a guy up?
Yeah. Like, me. Like, I would be looking into the dugout saying, hey, what
do you want from me?
You imagine if Nahagian was like the baseball manager?
He'd be the greatest, Harry.
It'd be so great. And I'd be looking in at him. He'd be coming out in the dugout. Stay right there. Don't even bother.
Yeah.
Just turn around.
Need to come out here
and sit down. I got this.
Could you imagine him? You're a pitcher, Harry. He comes out to the mound.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Trying to take the ball.
I don't know what this next batter's thinking, but I think I'm going to take you out.
Yeah.
And you're like, geez. Yeah. You're like, my arm's not feeling great. He's like, maybe I got the wrong guy.
Yeah, right.
It would be we could just do video after video. I wish I knew how to do that head replacement thing and replace the face.
Yeah, that's great.
Put his square head with the flat top on it. That haircut.
You post those videos every day, and you get a good look at the haircut.
Live from the corner office, Harry. Yeah. It's a huge hit out there.
It's looking tight, man, that haircut. I like it.
Yeah. Pulling the socks up.
But yeah, I mean, it's game 7 tonight. I mean, you didn't want this to go 7 because anything can happen in a game 7. I know they're favored like -165, which kind of makes you feel pretty good, but it doesn't mean anything, when it comes down to baseball or any sport really in a game 7. Anything can freaking happen, and it usually does. So
it's whoever grabs the con first.
Yeah.
And makes something happen.
Right.
If in the second inning it's still scoreless, 3 up, 3 down, both sides in the first inning, and then they come out in the second inning and put up 2 runs, a home run, and work a run it. Then all of a sudden, there's so much pressure that gets applied, and the reason why it's not good, obviously, it applies pressure to the players, the pitcher, and everything else, but it also puts the manager in a chokehold,
right?
Because you do go into this situation, go, I want to be patient with my starter because it's baseball,
right?
But you're going, it's not baseball tomorrow if we lose.
Right.
It's golf.
Right. And the other thing is that, the home crowd, which is such an advantage here, at this ballpark, the later the game goes without the runs being scored, they get antsy.
Yeah.
And you can just feel the tension it comes through your television.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what it'd be like to play in it because you could feel it because that crowd, they want to let loose, man. You know what I mean? You want it to be a party. You want to get up 4-0 in the first inning or 2 and have it just be a rollicking party all the way through to the 27th out. That's what you want.
You want an early Schwarbaum and a Harper homer and then open up the taps on the beer, on the kegs, Harry.
Right. Sort of like the NFC Championship game was last year for the Eagles.
Bingo.
They got out early and you just knew this is the party has begun. We're going to the Super Bowl. That's what you want tonight. But then they're going to have the Texas Rangers, man. I'll tell you what, you talk about impressive.
They beat the Astros.
They beat the Astros in a game 7 on the road, and they didn't just beat them. They thumped them.
Yeah, they're a good team, Harry. They were
really are.
horrid a couple years ago.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money, made a lot of deals, and some of the guys aren't even, and I know Scherzer came back. That was a late ad, but DeGrom, who they made, that was the big acquisition
Yeah.
In the offseason, and he's been hurt the whole time. Imagine if they had him at the top of that rotation.
Oh God, he's just an absolute monster.
Yeah.
With that, it's good to see new blood in there, though.
It is.
Harry, this is also, they went out and spent money and stuff, but I think this is baseball also because of the rule changes and opened it up. I think it's going to allow more teams to be in the mix because before it was so formulaic because of the analytics and the shift and all that stuff.
Right.
I think you may remember way back, you'd see like the Reds one year, or you'd see, it wasn't always the Yankees and the Reds. You'd see all these different teams. Cleveland was in the mix with Albert Bell and James Lofton out in center field and all that. I mean, I like that variety.
Oh, yeah, me too.
To be there every year, but
me too. And
variety out of the AL.
And it forces you to get to know some of these other players. Like, I had no idea who these Diamondbacks were. Really, I didn't really care. But now I do. This Kettle One Marte guy. Wow, what a player he is.
Yeah,
But now look at this. Now this pisses me off. We go right into a hockey quit. We're not going hockey here.
We already did the hockey minute.
Yeah, the hockey minute's over. You missed it.
I think it was before we started the stream, huh? What's your thoughts on the NHL having all their stars play tonight in 15 to 30 minutes interval? I don't know what that means.
I don't either. And if you don't know what that means, I certainly don't know what that means.
Well, they're doing teams playing tonight. And they're doing like a red zone type thing. Too.
Oh, that's
I know what he means. 15 to 30 minutes. So every team's playing and they staggered the starts, I think is what he's saying.
Oh,
it's brilliant. I mean, the fact that sports leagues don't stagger starts is hideous to me.
So that's why the Flyers play so late.
Well, yeah, it's a doubleheader on it's the national doubleheader.
I got you. Okay.
Vegas
well, now it makes a little bit more sense. But now a red zone for a hockey would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but what's the red zone? What do you just put power plays on? Like, this team's in the red zone, in the offensive zone. I mean, Chris, you go into the offensive zone 16 times in a minute.
Yeah, maybe power plays.
Yeah.
On the power play.
Coming up at 30 minutes time. I just appeared with Scotty, and I was on NHL Network Radio last week, Harold, on Friday, with Scotty Lachlan and Gordo. And Gordy.
Gord is a great Canadian name.
Oh, it's
Gord.
Awesome. Gordy. They bring me on. I go, Scotty and Gordy, hi. What's going on, boys?
Now we got to get into the Eagles too. Big win Sunday night. Wearing the Kelly greens.
They look good, man.
They did look good. They did.
Favorite part, Harry? The helmet.
The helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
The silver in it.
It looked good.
Yeah.
And they played well. But the thing is, man, I can't discuss the Eagle game without discussing the elephant in the room. And that was the officiating.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when do you ever have a game where the opponent, the visitor, has 10 penalties to your 0? You mean to tell me that the Eagles played a quality opponent in Miami with that explosive offense for 4 quarters and didn't commit a penalty?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Seriously.
It's not possible.
It is not possible.
Not with that many moving parts.
No, and the roughing the passer on Wilkins was a travesty.
Yeah.
I know we want the Eagles to play well and win, but you got to be honest. Every Eagle fan has to be honest. That was a BS call.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
You see it all over the league, and you see it on social media about the officiating. I mean, look, that sport's really hard to officiate.
Sure.
Because you want to let them play, but the reason why it's so hard to officiate, 2 things, is the sheer speed of the game, number one, and it's so physical. Like, there's physicality, not even where the object of the game is, the ball.
Yeah.
Because the line is blocking. So and I know they got like 12 referees and officials out there, but it's still incredibly difficult to officiate. It's going to be the thing we're going to hear about till the end of time. If you like football, you got to accept that the officiating sucks at times.
Yeah. Yeah. The face mask too. T from 203. That was an egregious miss. How do you miss that?
Yeah.
Well,
we see it on our TV and we go, oh my God, we're watching HD.
Yeah.
You know, back in '83, Harry, when we watched football games, did we say that? We
No,
couldn't.
no.
We barely knew the guy had a face mask on.
No,
We
but
couldn't see
you
the
know,
clarity.
when you see a guy's head, just like
Snap.
jerk like that, how do you miss that?
Yeah,
You know,
it looks like his head's gonna pop off.
we've seen plenty of flags come out late where you're like, oh, are you serious? Like
Yeah.
you see that, you process it, you throw the flag.
Well, which of the 4 major sports has the worst officiating? Is it football, basketball, like the end of a game in basketball?
Oh
with
yeah,
the hack a shack and that whole thing, and then
and the flopping and all that stuff that goes
baseball.
on.
I guess that's gotten a little better because of the
and then they review plays. But the strike zone it's just such a subjective thing, and it depends. It's like I pay real attention to that because when I played baseball at a very young age, I was a catcher, and learning to frame the pitches was something that is really cool to me. And certain catchers like Raul Muto is brilliant at it.
Yeah,
where you can take a pitch that's just a touch outside the zone and just
pull it in.
He can just turn his wrist, and all of a sudden now it's a strike.
Yeah, because it looks like now it's an illusion he creates.
Yeah,
but he is very good.
He's really good
last
at
night,
it.
actually. Too.
Yeah, he did. He was doing it last night.
Yes.
But man, the fishing. I'd probably say football, just simply because. And here's the reason: I gamble mostly on football, so I'm more dialed into what was in my view, a blown call or a missed call or stuff like that because I'm betting the game.
Yeah, it feels more consequential.
Yes.
Yeah. You know why it feels more consequential, Harry? Because it is to your wallet.
Because it is. Exactly. Yeah. And speaking of, when the Eagles now 6-1, tied with the best record in football with the Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco loses last night. I had my buddy bet the Vikings. I said, hold your nose. It's a stinker, but that's way too many points to be laying at home or laying on the road. Take the 7 and just watch the baseball game. And he did. And they went outright.
Yeah.
So the Niners getting some injuries now with the Niners that are affecting him. No Debo, the Trent Williams. I know the running back played last night, but he wasn't he was near 100. They probably shot him up. He's got some oblique issue. So that time of the year now where some of these teams now starting to take on injuries.
Yeah, you start to look at teams and when they have the bye week to get a little healthier, and coaches, the ones that manage their players through this period of time now, oftentimes are the ones that can set their teams up for success down the stretch and into the playoffs.
Right,
you got to manage the shit out of this, their energy and everything, the way you practice them.
Now I know they lost to the Jets because they lost the turnover battle. I mean, when you
just had a clunker.
Yeah, it was a clunker.
We're going to go 17-0.
It's kind of easy to have a clunker when you play a team, like that is back to their backup quarterback, and you're just maybe not as motivated. I don't know, and you're not as focused. Maybe that's what it is.
But take them lightly, Harry.
They haven't played their best football, and they're 6-1, and they just beat the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So now, I know the refs weren't great, but the refs didn't win the Eagles the game. The Eagles won the game. They dominated the line of scrimmage. That defensive front, man.
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They haven't played their best football. Hurts has not been otherworldly.
Turning the ball over.
Yeah. I listen, I don't think that, we last year spoiled Eagles fans when it comes to Hurts. Now I think there's an expectation that's going to be hard for him to maintain and meet. He's a really good quarterback.
You've also had defensive coordinators, dialing film in, for the last couple of months to say, hey, we got the Eagles on the schedule this week or this year. If they're not a division team, let's see what can we do to sort of make Jalen Hurts, mortal.
Mitigate him.
Yeah, exactly. So
this is the cat and mouse game of coaching versus scheme. And player, so look, he's getting keyed on. They know that he loves to go to the right side.
Right. And you've also got a new offensive coordinator here, they're just really still figuring out each other, if you will.
Yeah, 6-1, you're figuring it out. You're 6-1. Like there's no moral victories or anything, or in the NFL, there's no bad wins. You only have 17. If you win, I don't care how you do it. I know that fans want to see them.
Style points don't matter.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. It doesn't matter. You're totally right.
Now they do in college
cover
football.
The bet.
They do in college football.
Yeah, certainly.
And I got a bone to pick with your guy.
Everybody does.
Yeah. He's now 3-16 in what they classify as the big games.
Yeah.
3-16.
But I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Because this is the question that matters most. Have they been the team in those 19 games where they're 3-16 that you would have thought were going to win the game from a talent standpoint?
Well, I did this week. This past week. I
You
thought
like
they
that?
had
You
the
didn't think they had a
talent.
talent deficit?
They had the talent capable of winning that game.
Okay, so that was a coaching loss.
Coaching or, the players just not playing up to their
Executing.
potential, whatever it is. That Kalen King, who everybody raves about, the cornerback.
Yeah.
First of all, he wants no part of contact. None. In the
Yeah.
run game, he is non-existent.
Yeah.
He kind of comes up to the pile and he's like, he doesn't want to tackle.
Yeah.
And his coverage ability, they had him one-on-one with Harrison, which I thought was a big mistake. They were doubling him early, and it was fine.
Went away from it.
And he got away from it, and he just torched that kid.
Yep. Paid the price.
He had the penalty that called back the defensive touchdown, which was a penalty. He grabbed him.
Agreed.
I don't know why he did, but he did. Daquan Hardy failing. I know he's not the normal punt returner, but he fielded a couple punts prior to this. Lets that punt bounce, and it went 25 yards.
Yep.
They could have had the ball at midfield after they just made a huge defensive
Now they're
stop.
at 30. Yeah.
And now they have it at their own 24, I believe is what it was.
Man.
It was huge. What was the other thing? The offensive coordinator stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Jurkic, whatever his name is. He should go back to Shippensburg. He was a coach at Shippensburg. That's where he belongs, in my opinion. And what was it? Manny Diaz. I mean, you got to do better, man. I don't know. He took the double off of Harrison, which I thought was a big mistake, to stop the run. Well, what can damage you more in Ohio State? A backup running back or that guy?
That guy.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a hard place to play. I know a lot of people, this happens once a year when Penn State loses in that 3-16 record to a Michigan, Ohio State, one of those in that game.
Right.
And they all call for James Franklin's head. He's not a great game day coach. He's a great recruiter, as we know.
He is.
And the program has been consistently in the top 12 now, I think, for 7 or 8 years. But are you okay being in the top 12 at Penn State, or do you want to go to the college football championship?
Right.
That's the question.
Right. And also, if you're James Franklin, 4th and 1 about your own 46-yard line early in that football game, you don't punt the football. Not if you're there to win.
No, you got to make a statement there.
Yeah, they don't really have any confidence in this quarterback is what it tells me, the way they called that game.
Yeah, a little conservative.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
You're
not beating Ohio State kicking field goals and punting on 4th and 1 at midfield. You're not doing it.
No, you got to have bigger balls than that.
Yep.
You have to.
Yeah.
On the road especially, because you can take the crowd out of it. And so, I was disappointed. I mean, it was tight for a long time, and then
it was ugly.
Ohio State just stretched their legs, and I'm like, oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And here we are again. Penn State's got the L on the calendar, and who knows where they go from here.
Well, that's interesting. I'm interested to see what they look like this week against a bad Indiana team. They're favored by like 32.5 or something.
Take Indiana, Harry.
But,
with the points.
If you put a gun to my head, I probably would. But I'm very curious to see, because a lot of times in college football, and you know this, when you're playing a big game and you're undefeated and people are actually thinking you can win that game and you lose, the next week there's a deflated feeling like our season's over. We're not going to the playoff. We can't, you know what I mean? Like we can't
Nothing
win.
means as much now.
Exactly. So sometimes you come out flat and you get beat again.
Yeah.
Now they're not going to lose to Indiana, but you know what I'm saying.
You're right. We've seen it. If we've seen it once, we've seen it 1,000 times in college football, because one loss,
right,
and in a lot of it, your season ends right.
Well,
look
what happened to USC. They lose to Notre Dame. They threw a clunker. The quarterback looked awful, turned the ball over left and right, and then they come back at home against a good Utah team and lose again.
Yeah. I imagine like the next day of practice after they get back from Ohio State late Saturday night.
Right.
And then they get to practice this week, and I can imagine the energy at practice was non-existent.
Right.
Like totally different week to it. Like the first practice of the week leading into Ohio State was probably ratcheted up so high.
Got the music playing, everybody's bumping around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get to this week and it's like they're playing spa music or yacht rock. We're getting Jerry Rafferty's Baker Street this week.
I love that song.
I do too.
It's a great song. I had that album. Do you know that?
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
It's a good song, man.
City to City, I think, was the name of the record. Look it up.
Wow.
Because it had Right Down the Line on it, too, which was another one of his hits.
His only two, Harry.
Well, yeah, okay.
He was not.
I think it was called City to City. Jerry Rafferty.
And Jerry is with a G, by the way.
Correct.
That rarity where he spells it with a G.
He was a big booze hound.
City to City, right down the line. 1978, Harry.
1978. I was in 8th grade.
Yep.
8th grade. Yep.
Yeah, he's some good songs.
I think he's Scottish. He was Scottish.
Is he a Scot?
Is he a Scot?
He's from he was born in Paisley in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
And Stroud in the the United Kingdom. Where does that mean he's from?
Well, I don't know. The UK is
Scotland. It's good work by you, Harry.
England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, I believe, is the UK.
Wow.
And Wales.
Wow.
Regular Ireland is often on its own, I believe.
Yeah, you got the Scots.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd love to go to Scotland.
You would?
Yeah. After seeing Braveheart.
Yeah. I mean, I should want to go too to play golf, but I guarantee if I went, it would rain sideways for 6 straight days.
Yeah. It'll be windy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're supposed to, 120 in, dead wind in front of you, Harry.
Yeah. And you're hitting a 7, you're hitting an 8, or no, you're probably hitting a 6
iron to get in. You got a gale force winds coming in.
Yep.
You're like, geez, can I just get over here and get a non-breezy? I want to enjoy this golf course, and it's making it impossible.
I love this Kevin Cooney. Kevin Cooney tweeted during the Penn State game. Another big game master class from James Franklin.
Yeah, he hates Franklin. Kevin Cooney.
I love that.
He's always on the Fanatic before I do the pregame shows. In my
show,
he says he'll pop into the studio before we go on the air and talk to me over the IFB. And he's always asking me to do some of the Colonel. He just goes, "Hey, it's Kevin. Is that guy a good player?" And I go, is he good? I don't know. I mean, he's all right.
Well, he does the Walk in the Beat or whatever. What's it called? The podcast?
Working the Beat.
Working the Beat.
Yes, we've both appeared on there, haven't we?
I have. I don't know that I have. I know we've had
3 times.
Yeah. Couple of 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Well, we tried to reach out to Mikey Miss to come on today.
Yeah, hold on. Let's throw down the gauntlet. Let's hit Fudge Kitchen and let's throw the gauntlet down on old Mikey Miss.
All right. Well, the original Fudge Kitchen, the official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Odd G's podcast. Original Fudge Kitchen, a staple of the Jersey Shore. They got 6 locations: Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The Original Fudge Kitchen, they make all of their fudge and sweet treats right in the store. That's going to guarantee a delicious, fresh product. So stop by and let them know that N4L sent you. But if you're not able to get there, not a problem. Just go to their website. They'll ship it right to you. FudgeKitchens.com.
And also, Joey B says, Harry with the sharp hat, badass T-shirt, and mustache pack. And that shirt, that is a Shore Boy shirt.
Right. It's the hoodie.
How comfortable is that
hoodie?
thing?
I don't put the hoods up, but the kids do.
Yeah.
I'm too old for that.
The Utes.
Yeah, the Utes. But shoreboy.co and check out all their merch. But yeah, the hat's Lulu Country Club. It's a Donald Ross design over there in Glenside.
Yeah, I like that, Harry, because the little symbol on it is not overwhelming me.
Yeah,
it's small.
Right. Yeah.
I like that a lot.
They got a good logo. Good golf course. Real good.
Oh, I got to real quick before we get to Mikey Miss, I got to throw out some thanks too to Mark and everybody over at the D'Ambrosio Dodge Jeep Ram dealership.
Oh, do we have a new sponsor?
And actually, no. But maybe I'm going to send them this. Maybe we'll get one. The old lady wakes up Saturday. We went up to our camp on Friday, and she wakes up Saturday. She goes, I think I want to go today. And she's been wanting to get a new vehicle. Get rid of the mommy minivan, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And she goes,
I think something more happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes, I think I want to go and test drive a couple of Jeeps today. We're not going to buy it. I want to try a stick, an automatic, and just what I want to look at the Rubicon.
What kind of Jeep now?
Jeep Willys, So
the Wrangler.
Yeah, the Sahara's the Yeah, it's the Wrangler.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, we got nothing going on today. So we pop over there. I was like, I drove by this Jeep dealership the other day out in Exton, and they have tons of them on the lot. So we'll go.
Is that Route 30 or 320? Where is that? Route 30?
Yeah. Right next to the Cracker Barrel. So we go over and walk right in the door, and there's this bald dude sitting there at his desk. Like, you're a bald guy. Okay, we'll talk with you. So we sit down and we're like, she's interested, and we're not going to buy anything today. All right, we drive out of there with a brand new Jeep.
Of course you did. You know how many people walk into a car dealership saying, "Hey, well, we're not buying anything today.
Yeah.
We just want to look around, take some test drives."
Yeah. The guy's like, "Yeah, I've heard this before.
Yeah,
you're a mark." But they were, the car dealership experience a lot of times can be really lengthy and brutal. I'll go back to my guy, my finance guy. Let's do this. They were awesome. It was an incredible experience. First of all, the Jeeps and what they had on the lot were stunning. Jeeps are not what I thought they were from back in the day. Way nicer. And the owner came out, and, they listened to the show and heard us on the radio, the whole thing, and gave me a nice Capital Grill gift certificate, card. Yeah, I mean, they were awesome. So it was a great experience. So if you're in the market for a Jeep or Dodge Ram, head their way over at D'Ambrosio, because they were fantastic to deal with.
Wow, this feels like a live read.
It does.
Like right out of the radio days.
I literally got nothing out of it. This is not a paid sponsor. I like to spread the word when I, certain businesses do well by you.
Yeah, me too. I'll give them a review on Google Reviews. I'll write up a nice review like I did for Rudder Roofing a couple of weeks ago, and the pressure washing guy that came to my house. When guys do a good job for an honest, a fair number, I want to shout them out.
Yeah, I do too. And that's the thing is, a lot of times, customer service in this day and age is fleeting.
Right.
Good customer service. So, hey, they did a great job. The old lady got a 2024 Jeep Willys, it's called. She got it in a color called Earl.
What?
Let me see if I can show you.
Earl? Is that Pearl minus the P?
Kind of. It's not the Duke of Earl, Harry. But yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable color on this vehicle. Let me see if I think I have a picture of it here. Let me see if I can bring it up.
Okay.
Well,
the Willys Jeep, the Willis Jeep, that was one of their originals way back in the day, I believe.
Is that right? Is that where that comes from? I didn't know.
You know the Sugar Magnolia song by the Grateful Dead?
I've heard it, Harry.
It's in the lyric. Stuck like a Willis in four-wheel drive.
Really?
She's a summer lover in spring, fall, and winter. She can make happy any man alive.
Oh.
That's a reference to the Jeep, I believe.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Sugar magnolias blossom blooming. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's good work by you. I'll find a picture here.
All right.
And put it up. I know I sent her one, but
the color is Earl.
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, not the Duke of Earl, Harry.
Right.
But yeah, it was or Earl Bailey.
Right. Exactly. I tried reaching out to him. I don't think he answers his emails.
Yeah.
Or his LinkedIn.
I'm just gonna show it to the camera here from my telephone. Let me close that. All right, so this is it right here.
Well, I can see the outline of the vehicle.
Yeah, you can't see the
color really doesn't show up.
All right, let me send this to myself.
Yeah, not Earl the Pearl. Joey B with a great
good pull.
Oh, Bartram High School's own, I believe. Earl Monroe.
Wow.
I think he went to Bartram.
Wow.
And I think, did he go to Morgan State? I got to look this up now, because then he played for the Baltimore Bullets. And then, of course, was traded, I believe, to the New York Knickerbockers, where he played in the backcourt with Walt Clyde Frazier.
Wow.
How about that backcourt?
That's good work.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Here's the new ride for the old lady. There you go, Harry. That's the color nice. Earl. Yeah. Did a nice job, didn't she?
That's a good looking vehicle.
Yeah, and it's not chalk, you're not going to see many of that color on the road. The Pastellers are big right now.
Yeah, I like that.
That's the old lady's. She's putzing around in that thing.
Yeah, well, is she a MILF in that thing?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Oh no, he went to Winston-Salem State. My bad. But he did go to Bartram High School.
Okay.
Yeah. He was the second overall pick in the 1967 draft.
67.
1967.
Wow. A long time ago, Harry.
Yeah.
So yeah, great experience there. So, and the Jeep is weird. Like you sit in and you drive. You know how like your car, you have the dashboard and then it kind of you have an area that goes down because the steering or the windshield is like angled.
Uh-huh.
The Jeep, you're on the steering wheel, and you can like literally put your fingers to the windshield because it's just flat right in front of you.
Oh wow,
it's so different.
Well, now how does it drive? How does it ride when you're
like
on
a
the
car?
highway? But I mean, like the wheels, the tires are for off-roading, so sometimes they ride a little rough.
Yeah,
on the highway.
Back in the day, the Jeep was a rough ride.
Yeah.
But now they've perfected it, man.
Oh, okay.
And there's this whole Jeep community, subculture and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So you're involved in the subculture now.
She's involved in the subculture, Harry. I am not.
Well, you might want to get involved too, because I mean, she's going to meet other men in this subculture with other Jeeps.
Have fun. I have my own subculture. I do not need another subculture, Harry.
Please take her off my hands.
Yes. Careful what you ask for.
Right.
So we have to go. So we go up there on Friday. We buy the Jeep, and we have to go back up Saturday or Sunday morning because she left her product up there.
No.
Her little box with all of
her
dispensary items,
dummies and stuff in there.
Yeah, everything.
Oh my God.
The pens. I'm like, how do you pack up to leave and leave the most important item there?
Like if she leaves the house, does she ever leave without it?
Yeah. But if she's in work mode and she has to run to Wawa, she's not bringing the vape or the pen,
right. But if she's going up to your place, your cabin, for the cabin.
Oh, Harry.
Yeah.
Why do you think she bought the cab?
Right. Right.
Like that picture's taken in the driveway there. The beautiful fall foliage.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful time of year.
Nice.
I love this. So, she said, "Is Mert's wife going to get a Willie's tattoo?" No, but she's thinking about it, getting some new ink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am as well.
There you go.
I'm thinking about extending the sleeve, Harry, right here onto the hand.
Really?
What do you think about that?
Ugh.
Yeah, it'd be painful. I know that.
Yeah, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, because you got a lot of metatarsal in there.
Yeah,
and it's thin skin.
I don't know. I can't talk to people with tattoos and tell them what to do. It's all that you talk about a subculture. That's a subculture, and I'm not involved in it.
Yeah.
So I don't have any.
You are not in my subculture.
No.
Nor are you welcome until you do some initiation of getting a full sleeve.
Yeah. Now at Pure Blarney on Twitter says you guys should be on the air. The talent pool at a certain radio station needs oxygen, he says.
Now, what radio station is he referring to? 102.9 WMGK, Harry?
No. Love that station though.
I do too. We should have taken over for JDB.
Yeah, we should have. That would have been great.
Crockpot to the unemployment line.
No, that's not right.
Vassalotti.
Vassalotti's good.
I would have had him a part of any show.
Yeah,
I love Vassalotti.
Yeah,
is that his wedding?
I used to be on that show, and then you took my spot after I left.
Yeah, handicapping.
The handicapping thing. That was fun going in there on Friday mornings and talking a little football with JDB and Vassalotti.
Loved it.
It was
because
great.
At the end, here's our Eagle song of the week.
That was great.
Matter of fact, JDB appeared on the first ever episode of the Odd Cheese podcast.
That's correct.
Distinguished guest.
That's correct.
The mustache and all.
Yeah. Now, speaking of guests, we tried to reach out, or you did, to Mikey Miss because we wanted to touch base with him, and we got crickets.
Yeah, I've got nothing in response, Harry. I just hit him up. I'm not going to show it, but I'll tell people what I said.
Right.
In my text to Mike, and I text with Mike regularly. I think
you do the Sopranos usually.
Yeah. So the last text I got from Mike was last Monday, October 16th at 10:26 a.m. And it's just a YouTube link to the 24 times Paulie Walnuts had the best line on The Sopranos. My response, classic, and he goes, "Oof, Maron, he looks terrible." So I reached out to him yesterday at 10:04. And I said, "Hey, are you around to jump on with Harry and I tomorrow for our live stream show podcast at 11:10 a.m.? Want to talk Phillies, Eagles, and more? We can cross promote your podcast and stuff as well."
Sure.
I see it says read yesterday. No response.
Wow. Well, what did we do wrong?
I don't know.
And we could have talked Penn State too with him. This is a perfect time.
Yes.
Game 7, Eagles roll over the Dolphins. Penn State loses.
James Franklin.
Game.
Yep.
could talk about the tush push, what his thoughts are on that. What, by the way, what are your thoughts on the tush push?
Yeah, enough of these
Otherwise
people
known as the
bitching about it.
brotherly shove.
Yeah, these people got to stop bitching about it. It's a legal play.
Right now it is. I don't know that it's going to stay legal, but
Well, I mean,
right now it is, and nobody does it any better.
yeah, other teams should just figure out how to do it.
Well, apparently the
it worked-
Giants tried it and somebody got hurt, and that's why it might end up being under review again in the offseason, because it could be. I saw
Being
Adam
dangerous.
Schefter tweeted this a week or so ago, saying that it could come under review again because of the possibility for injury. And it's like, really? The Eagles players don't get hurt doing it.
Yeah, they've only done it 1,000 times, and I haven't seen a player carted off yet.
I think they did it 4 times the other night, and every time
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah.
I do agree, though. There's something in my brain that just says it's not really
spirit?
a football. Yes, like where you got 2 guys lined up behind the quarterback pushing his ass.
Yeah.
To me, just doesn't seem quite right.
Yeah. I understand it. It's not like they put things into sports and you go, okay, teams then find their way to ruin it.
Right.
And not make it in the spirit for which it was applied.
Right.
And it's like you had something good and you ruined it. And I get it, but look, you only got 17 of those games. You're in 4th and 1. You need a first down. If you got the ability to do that,
but they got that offensive line, which is the best in the league. They got a center that's going to the Hall of Fame, and a quarterback that squats like 600 pounds. I don't know that you need AJ Brown back there pushing his ass.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely right.
Because that's what makes it look like a bogus play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It looks like a rugby scrum.
Yes, it does.
And it doesn't look like football, like handing it off to a running back or just a traditional quarterback sneak where he just jumps to the right of his tackle and finds a hole.
Well, Tom Brady was really good at that. He'd just tuck his head right inside his guard's ass, and he'd get the first down.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It is not aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
But it is effective.
And right now it's legal, so use the hell out of it.
Yeah. Now, if they get to like a Super Bowl and they have to win the Super Bowl and they do it, 4th and 1 at the 46-yard line and they do it, and that ends up being the play that determines the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then they, make it illegal.
Right.
That would be, oh boy.
That's probably what's going to happen. So James Franklin should learn the tush push, and then he wouldn't have to punt the ball on 4th and 1 at his own 45-yard line.
Yeah. Well, you got to have
quarterback
a quarterback
6'6".
Yeah. But you got a big boy there.
Yeah.
You got to have a quarterback that's got some ass. Daniel Jones has no ass for the Giants.
No, he doesn't.
A lot of money.
Tyrod Taylor's a better quarterback, by the way.
Yeah,
and this kid, speaking of better quarterbacks, forget about Justin Fields. He stinks.
Yeah.
The kid from Shepherd College, Shepherd University, should be the starter going forward. Did you see what that kid did last week?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a Division II school. They used to play Shippensburg when I went to Shippensburg.
Wow. Were they playing Kutztown too, Harry?
Yeah, they do. They played Westchester.
Westchester College at the time?
Yeah.
Before it became university.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to, we'll see if we can get Mike on maybe next week. But yeah, crickets so far.
That's amazing.
I'm on the pay no mind. Justin Decker just messaged in and said, Mike, you mispulled an Egan. I am not ready for you. Classic. Oh my goodness. You would come into when he was producing our show, and you would come in and be like, can you get me this? Ask him to get you sound. And you wanted a rapid, ready to go producer.
Right.
That you knew was on the stick from the moment you walked in the door.
Precisely.
And you did not walk in the door 5 minutes before a show. Like
no,
some other people.
I'm there for an hour and a half before the show.
Yeah. And you're not there to socialize. You're there to get some stuff together and let's kind of figure out where we're going to go and have some sort of framework.
I was big on the preparation.
You were.
Because once you do the preparation, then the show's easy.
Yeah. And all the preparation may go out the window.
Right.
Based on where the show goes.
Oh, it did pretty much every day with Bruno.
3 minutes in, Harry. Yeah. Like when I worked with Mike and I prepared a ton. Now, he didn't show up an hour and a half before, but we corresponded, and we always had a lot of talking points ready to go when I worked with Mike. I had a very, good preparation system with him. When I worked with Anthony, it wasn't so good.
Well, you and Mike weren't just up there reading the show sheet either.
No.
Right.
We debating the issues, and he was always litigating everything.
Right.
But with Anthony, it was Andrew and I would be in there figuring it out and come up with these ideas and angles. And Anthony would come in, no, forget about that. I'm like, now, mind you, this is 3 minutes before the show.
Right.
Or 5 minutes in, depending on. I'm coming up on 4 years, Harriet, since I got zipped on Halloween. Yeah.
Wow. I'm 5 years.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It was October 1st, 2018, I believe, was my last day.
Yeah. I poured one out on that day, right on the show.
Yeah.
And they had asked me when that happened to not say anything, if you recall.
And you didn't listen.
I did not listen.
Right.
I was fucking angry. Not at you. I understood your position.
All right.
And I respected your position. I didn't like your position.
Right.
But I respected it. I didn't like that we were put in that position.
Right.
And the result of that, I thought it was bullshit.
Yeah.
And I still think it's bullshit. So to your original point about us going back and adding some entertainment, who knows? Well, we'll see. I have no idea. But we're interested.
Things can change quickly.
Yeah. Not quickly. Remove that part.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Nothing happens quickly in radio. So we'll see where it goes. Anything else you want to get to? You want to talk about this U2 thing?
Well, yeah. I wanted you to check out U2 is doing a residency, as they call it, in the business at the Sphere, which is the new venue it's changing the way concerts are viewed. Really, this adds a totally different dimension to show business. It's kind of amazing. I'd love to be able to get in there, but I wanted to get your thoughts on the venue and also of U2, because I gave a listen to some of the videos. Bono is shot.
Yeah, he's gassed. The voice is gone.
He's gassed. I mean, a big part of his presentation and his presence on stage was his freaking energy level. And, he had a powerful voice, man.
Yeah.
He's done.
Signature voice too, Harry.
Yes.
Yeah. He is 63 years of age.
I get it. Yeah.
Let's keep that. That.
How old's Mick Jagger? Like 80?
Yeah.
I mean,
plus 10 probably.
Yeah.
But his energy has never wavered.
That's my point.
Yeah. Some guys, it just they lose it. And, they can't do it anymore. Like it kills me to say Mick Jagger is 80, but like Robert Plant, I can't go see him because it's sad.
It's a different Robert Plant. He's still who's the Alison Krauss, I think, is who he's been working with a lot. He's good with the different versions of the Zeppelin songs. He just can't do 1972 anymore.
Yeah, he's not hitting those notes in Kashmir ever again.
Correct.
But Bono is gassed.
Yeah.
But as far as the venue goes, it's insane. It's like the Fells Planetarium on steroids.
Yeah.
And watching Pink Floyd in not in 3D, but in like 10D.
Well, that would be the band. If you could go back in time to putting them back together, Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here era.
Nick Mason.
Animals. Yes.
Yeah.
The whole thing. And go back to that time period and that place.
Yeah.
That would be off the charts.
That would be the ultimate experience at that venue with that visual effect.
Yeah.
I mean, the visuals are mind-blowing. I don't even know that I would watch a heck of a lot of the band.
No, I didn't. Frankly, I didn't even know the band was there.
Yeah, just give me a soundtrack because they sound like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Just play the U2 CD.
Yeah.
Can we get the Boy cassette, please, up here?
Or let's get that Red Rocks live album and just put it on.
Perfect. Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And we'll just pretend the band will be there. They can stand there, or just pull up a chair and watch with us.
Yeah.
But play the audio from Under the Blood Red Sky.
Right.
At Red Rocks.
Give me, Larry Mullen Jr. apparently is not playing drums right now. He's hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Joey B. Larry Mick Mullen. It's Larry Mullen Jr., I believe. But apparently Bram Vandenberg is the sit-in drummer now. Who is Bram Vandenberg? What band was he from?
I have no idea. I've never heard of Bram Vandenberg. And you think if I'd have heard that name before, I probably would have remembered it.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool name.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, I mean the venue is staggering. It is. It's just unbelievable like what they can do and the projections and all that stuff.
Mhm.
It is pretty wild. But like if I go to a concert, am I there to see the band or am I there to see this wild, graphic show and stuff? I like that stuff within the concert to an extent, but I
Yeah.
also like going to see a band and like just seeing the band go on stage and fucking rip it up.
Right. Well, they can't
know?
rip it up anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I went and saw Pantera and like there was some pyro and some stuff like that, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And they sounded great. Yeah, I was loving it.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Bram Vandenberg is a Dutch rock musician for the band Krezip, Krezip.
never heard him.
Krezip?
Yeah, never heard him.
I don't know. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right though. Bono, he shot.
Gassed.
It's over. Yeah. Have you ever seen U2, Harry?
I've seen him like 6 times.
Wow.
I
What's
saw
the
him-
first show?
The first show was one of the best concerts I ever saw, and I've seen 100+ concerts. Was what was the name of the Joshua Tree tour?
Okay.
September the 27th, 1987, at JFK Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah,
that when
was the
Pink
first one.
Floyd played there like the next night?
Pink
Was the
Floyd
next one
played there. Yeah,
that week or something?
They did play there that year. because
Momentary lapse of reason.
I
was
wanted
there.
to go and I didn't for some stupid reason. I think I had like an exam or something that I had to study for because that was when I actually studied.
Yeah, I saw the Pink Floyd shows at 1987 there.
Oh, you did?
Right after U2. Yeah.
Okay.
But you saw the U2 Joshua Tree.
Yeah, I
And
saw
that's that's the height of their popularity there.
Yeah, and that Bruce Springsteen actually came on stage with them that night. Nobody knew
Wow.
it was happening, and they did "Stand by Me" with Bruce.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
But I've
Yeah.
seen him at the Vet. I've seen him at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. I've seen him where else? Tampa, I believe. I saw him a lot.
You and I were at that Vet show together.
We
That was
didn't know each
91
other.
or 92 at the time.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was.
so.
It had to be around there because it was before I moved down south.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the Zooropa tour. They had the big TVs on like these
on the
arms.
little car. Those little cars on the lifts.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Pretty
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah, it was actually a good show. They were like one of the bands like I've always admired. Like I go, okay, it's not a band that I'll go down rabbit holes on or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's definitely unique. They're another band that nobody ever emulated the sound,
Right.
and that's because of the Edge and Bono.
Yeah.
The Edge
they-
guitar playing so unique with
It
all
is.
the delay and
The effects.
weird tunings and stuff like that. Like he's not strumming chords.
Hmm.
They're these weird structural pieces, and but yeah, signature sound. Great band.
Yeah.
And got a chance to see him at that show. So yeah, they don't sound so good, but still, U2, one of the great ones.
Well, he's in that "It Might Get Loud" documentary.
Yeah, I with Jimmy Page and Jack White.
Jack White. Yeah.
Which is a documentary. It's not starring Jack White, Jimmy Page, or the Edge. The star of It Might Get Loud is the instrument,
Mhm.
is the guitar.
Yeah.
It's a documentary about the guitar through the eyes of 2 or 3 very unique guitar players.
Yeah.
That's why it's great.
And when Page rips out the riff from "Whole Lot of Love," the look on their face is just priceless.
They all go on the sound stage at the end of the documentary. Well, I love the part when they go into Page's house too, and he's going through his album. You see, this one here is and he's, but because he's so like, debonair at this point.
He's regal.
Yeah, he is with the gray hair, the ponytail, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But they go on that sound stage, Harry, and they're just kind of going through stuff, and they're like playing with each other, and then he just hits to the humbucker on that Les Paul, and just goes and his mouth.
Yep.
And they're getting the strumming, and they're like, first of all, I never knew you strummed it like that.
Uh-huh.
That's how it's played. And they grab their guitars off their leg and they put them down. They're like, I can't touch this thing.
I can't. I'm not following this up.
I'm out. I can't do it.
There's also a
the
good
look is like, oh my God. And you can see like their cheeks trembling because they're smiling.
They're in
and
awe.
they can't control it. Yeah. That's what that riff is.
There's a good thing on Instagram, Joe Walsh. I think it was the Joe Walsh fan club or whatever I follow. where it played when Joe Walsh learned how to do that song, and he's just like,
you got to send that to me.
Yeah, I'll find it.
You have got to
I'll
send
find
that
it.
to me.
Yeah,
I love like seeing great musicians have reactions like that.
Yeah,
and like that riff is, I mean, that's one of the best riffs. Period. All
and
time.
Speaking of that, did you see recently? I think Keith Richards was on with Jimmy Fallon recently because Fallon just came back to work. Apparently, I don't watch the show, but apparently he was off for this strike thing for a while now.
Oh, yeah,
he's back.
SAG strike.
And I think he had Keith Richards on, and Richards is on there with an acoustic guitar, and he's just jamming "Start Me Up" with this acoustic, and dude, it sounds so freaking good. And then Fallon starts singing. And
like
dude,
Mick Jagger?
He sounds just like freaking Mick Jagger. He's got all the mannerisms, all the timing, the inflection. It's freaking good. I'll send that to you.
And Keith Richards' fingers look like they've been through a war and a half.
They're like Baldy's fingers. Like
they are.
It's got like 10 Baldy fingers.
Yeah. What do you say, Keith? Can we get a Keith Richards breakdown video? What do you say? What do you say, Richie? The whole thing. Start me up, wild horses. Beautiful.
Beast of burden.
Yeah. He put the Cuz put out this video, and I sent it to you yesterday on Twitter. This goddamn mic keeps lowering my volume in my ears. I'm trying to hear myself. He put out it's great, isn't it? The whole thing.
Yeah.
You got the red October, the birds, the gully. It's beautiful.
Here it is. It's do you follow Keith Richards on Instagram?
I don't really even go on
Official
Instagram.
Keith is his title.
Keith?
K-E-E-F. Yes.
That's beautiful. Chief
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't really do the gram a whole lot, Harry. That does sound good on acoustic.
Doesn't it?
I want to hear Jimmy Fallon sing. I wonder if we're going to get shut down because of this.
There.
Wow, he does sound good. Can we get him on stage with you too, Harry, to do Bono at the Sphere?
Exactly. Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's on Instagram.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, good stuff. Anything else you want to get to? We've gone well over an hour here. 2 minutes past an hour. We're now in overtime, Harry. It's 3-on-3.
The after show.
Yeah. Oh,
geez.
Yeah. That's another 3 hours in.
No, the Beckham Netflix series, I haven't seen that, Brian. Or Joey B. Joey B's. I thought Brian Cunningham asked us that, but it's Joey B. But I do want to watch there's a Netflix thing. I think it's only one episode on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
that I want to see.
From his like workout days and stuff.
No, it's like his whole life. It's like a whole thing on him, like how he got started, and
from Austria.
Yeah, you talk about an interesting life.
Yeah, very bizarre.
Yeah,
politics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You thought he was just like some total meathead, but he's actually an intelligent guy.
And then he ended up banging the cleaning lady, like his maid, right, and had a kid with her.
Oh, I remember that story.
Apparently, he and the kid are like very close.
Oh, that's great.
That's one of the things that it comes out in it.
She was the cleaning lady, huh?
And she was like the maid or something.
Wow.
A man needs a maid. Neil Young sang that.
So I agree with Neil.
Arnold took it to heart.
Yeah, he really needed her. All right. Let me get a couple predictions from you before we get out of here.
No.
So let's start with tonight, Harry. Game number 7, Citizens Bank Park. 2 runs are gonna score. Who wins?
Phillies win it.
Score?
I don't know what the score will be. I think there's probably going to be
5-2 written all over it.
4-2, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Odds Harper gets a homer tonight.
I don't think he'll get pitched to.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And with Bohm behind him, that's not protection right now. I think Schwarber will hit one though.
To where? Kensington?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Right. Port Richmond.
Yeah.
He just destroys the ball. It's insane. If he hits one in the first inning, Harry, that place is gonna just go insane.
If he's sitting on a pitch and gets it, forget about it.
Yeah. Did you see the Chris Collinsworth thing talking about sports fans in Philadelphia, how much it matters and stuff?
No.
Like everybody's commenting on it because the atmosphere is so insane down there.
Yeah.
I was talking last Monday to John Tortorella before we were taping our Hockey and Hounds piece that we do
Mhm.
weekly. And I was asking him about the Phillies and if he still corresponds with Rob Thompson, because Rob Thompson's Canadian, a big hockey guy, texts Torts a lot. He's
Oh,
like, he
yeah.
texted me one time during a rain delay.
Topper is a Canadian.
Yeah.
Ah,
And I believe so. And I said, this Harper, is he's like, oh my God, he's unbelievable. He goes, I gotta get this guy in front of my boys, in front of the team,
yeah.
to talk to them about playing here, playing under pressure, playing in big moments,
Yeah.
games that matter.
You
He's like,
should.
I have got to get that. He's like,
How does that not happen?
Yeah, he's like, Topper said, we'll make it happen. He's like, you can't do it right now. He's in the midst of this run. He's like, but that guy is everything I want my players to be,
Yeah.
So he's like, I got to get this guy in front of my team. I was like, that's a great call.
It is.
So Torts is fucking great. I love him.
Yeah, he is.
I talked to him yesterday from Vegas, and I'm like, oh, you're out in Vegas. Torts, does what happens in Vegas stay in Vegas? He goes, I hate Vegas.
I knew that. I knew that's what he'd say.
He goes, I go, you couldn't coach there. So much distraction. He's like, he's such a simple dude.
He's
farm
just
with
hangs
animals.
with his dogs.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, we do it's Hockey and Hounds. The only reason we talk every week is so we can promote the PSPCA and adoption and all that stuff, which is great. So, fantastic stuff. All right, let's wrap it up there. Let me get your prediction on the Eagles on Sunday.
Well, they play in Washington. Washington took them to overtime at the link. 6.5 point number. I think it'll be close. They always are. But I think the Eagles will win.
All right, there we go. All right, Flyers will give the Vegas Golden Knights their first L tonight, by the way.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow. And then we got the NBA starting this week. I just saw a tweet before I came on with you. Tonight begins 8 months of NBA basketball. 8 months.
Jesus, it's that long.
Yeah.
I guess 6-month regular season and a couple of months for the playoffs.
Yeah, it goes into mid-June.
Nothing like something that last 8 months. You already know that the Sixers are going to be out in the second round.
Yeah. Yeah. If they even get that far. Right.
Yeah. What a mess.
Yeah.
I'm not an NBA hater, Harry. I just hate the hype.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy the Phillies game tonight. Don't get too stressed. Everything's going to be beautiful. Enjoy the night tonight. Celebrate it. Climb the poles, even if they're greased. But we'll talk to you next week, maybe with Mikey Miss. If he decides to respond, we shall see. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. We'll talk to you next time for episode 78 of the Odd G's podcast. See you, everybody.